everybody doing? Welcome back to Sonic Labs. My name's Jack Miele. Today we're going to be talking about drum miking. We're going to be talking about the drum miking of the famous engineer Glyn Johns. He's the guy who engineered a lot of the records that we all know, the Zeppelin records and many, many more. So Glyn had this really great technique where he only used a few mics to get really massive drum sounds. And this is a great, I don't want to call it a trick, but it's a great technique that you can use when you're in a rush, or when you don't have a whole lot of mics, or when you don't have a whole lot of time and you need to get a great drum sound. So what it really does is it starts with the overheads. Now, I used ribbon mics, but you can really use condenser mics, or I think he actually used condenser mics, but I like to use ribbons for this technique. But it's really a 4-mic technique. But we're gonna get a little bit into adding some extra mics, but mainly it's a 4-mic technique. So the 4 mics are mono overhead. We have another, it's not really an overhead obviously, but it's a secondary mic that we'll call an overhead. Will be over here, and a front mic, and then a kick mic. Glyn usually, I don't think that he had a kick-in mic. He probably used something more like the 87 here. So the way to start is to start with just an overhead. Start with a mono overhead, and you want to get it, it depends on your room, but 3 or 4 feet above the kick drum. What I'm doing right now is get yourself, don't do that. Get yourself a good old tape measure, and you want to measure the distance from the middle of the snare drum to the mic. So right now we're at 43 inches from the top of the mic to the snare drum. So the trick here is to get these 3 mics to form this triangle where it's exactly 43 inches from the middle of the snare. This will eliminate any sort of phasing issues because the sound will be received by all 3 mics at the same time. So over here, I've got this mic right on target, 43 inches right to the middle, and then come over here to this mic and 43 inches from the center. So, and the height of these mics also, you want them maybe about waist high, right around here. And once again, the height of these is going to be determined by the length from the snare drum. If you put it higher, then it may be a little closer in or further away. If you put it lower, depending on the angle. So what ends up happening is these 3 mics together will sound great. So just these 2 mics will sound great. And what you want to do is pan this one to the left. And it doesn't have to be a hard pan, but you want to pan this one generally to the left and pan this one to the right. If we're doing drummer perspective. If you want to do listener perspective, you would reverse that. This would be to the right and this would be to the left, because the listener's ear would be to the right. So, and this guy would stay in the center. So it gives you a really nice image of the mic. And the rest of these mics that I put in, they're fill mics. I used an 87 on the outside of the kick, and I used a D12 on the inside. Now, most people would put this further in to get more beater sound, but I wanted to get a more classic sound, something that didn't have as much attack to it, and a little more puff, something a little more 70s sounding. Over here, I have top and bottom snare mics to fill out the sound. Now remember, the key to this is to have a great sound with the 3 mics. Everything else is to help these mics, okay? Top and bottom snare mics, once again, you don't even need a bottom. I just like a bottom, So, I mean, realistically, this could be done with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mics, the whole thing. Now, I'm adding this bottom mic, I'm adding a second kick-in mic, and I'm adding a couple of room mics. But, so my entire scenario is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mics for the entire thing. And what we're going to do here is, oh, by the way, whenever you're micing your snare, make sure you flip the phase on the bottom so that, everything will be in phase with each other. And check the phase on these too. Like I've said in earlier videos, whenever you're doing drum sounds, put it in mono so that you can check. So we're going to go ahead and roll. We're going to go ahead and roll and try and get some sounds. So check it out, and I'll see you inside the control room. Okay, now that we've gotten our mics set up, we got some drum sounds. I'm going to let you hear a little bit about what we're going to be getting. This Glyn Johns technique, like I said, I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mics because I'm using stereo rooms. I'm using above and below mics, and for the snare, and I'm using 2 kick drum mics. So, like I said, really the sound is really only 4 mics. But let me let you hear what it sounds like, what I have now. Okay, the 4 key mics here are my overhead, my side mic, my front mic, and the kick in mic. So when I play just those 4 mics, listen to what it sounds like. Not much difference. It's like I said, the room mics and the snare mic and the kick out mic, they're just providing just a little bit of support. They're not absolutely crucial. So my suggestion to you is just to start with your overhead. Get the overhead sounding good, and then add in the side mic, and then add your front mic. Make sure they're all the same distance from the center of the snare, and then solo those and get those sounding good in mono to make sure that you don't have any phasing issues. And this is what it sounds like playing a little bit harder. So as you can see, we have a very good sounding drum sound just with a few mics. So whether you're using this for something just really fast because you don't have a lot of time to set up, or you're using it, for a full-length record, this is a great technique. It's been used for many years, and hopefully you'll get some usage out of it as well, and make some great records. Thanks for watching Sonic Labs. We'll see you at the next episode.